Welcome back to Kateno! Here we are again, your guidance evening squad to serve you with another very informative and educational vlogs.
We are now in our 8th educational vlog. Yay! So if you haven't seen it, guys, you can watch it on our Facebook page. First, we had our vlog on courtesy.
And next, we also had our self-care vlog series, spiritual self-care, emotional self-care, physical self-care, and social self-care.
Well, aside from that, we also have our coping strategies vlog, saying goodbye and letting go vlog, and lastly is the COVID-19 survivors journey vlog.
Yes, and aside from that 8 educational vlogs that we had, we also have 2 tribute vlogs for the late Dr. Edwin Pilapil and Professor Epifania Martinez. You can watch it in our Facebook page.
Yes, so Miss Lai, what's new with our vlog for today?
Yes, great question, Lucy. So in compliance with CHED Memorandum 9 series of 2013, our vlogs will tackle about these common issues in our society today, which will really be helpful and informative to all of us.
Yes, Miss Lai. Ika nga lamang ang may alam. So here are the series of topics we will cover in our vlog starting today. First is the RA 9262, or also known as the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children. Next is the Guidelines on Drug Abuse Prevention and Control.
Yes, we also have the RA 7877, or also known as the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. Another, we also have HIV/AIDS awareness, self-care and healthy lifestyle, and last but not the least, the RA 9442, particularly on the provision on public ridicule and vilification against persons with disability.
Yes, Miss Lenore, let us not deny the fact that we are ignorant of our rights with regards to the stated topics. It is, yes, very common nga nadunggan na nato siya anywhere, everywhere, but the question is that, do we understand it? Do we really know what our rights to protect ourselves?
Yes, that's very important to tackle these topics. So now, to understand about today's topic, which is the guys, feel free to comment down your learnings or even your questions in the comment section.
So here is yours, Dr. Riva L. Bachansila, to discuss and enlighten us with this topic.
Katechno! Watch, learn, and enjoy!
Hello everyone! Our educational plan for today is providing you with simplified information on topics required by CHED, or the Commission on Higher Education. Indicated under Memo Number 9 series of 2013, which is a discussion of Republic Act 9262, also known as Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004. Let us try to know what is meant by battered woman syndrome. This refers to a scientifically defined pattern of psychological and behavioral symptoms found in women living in a battering relationships as a result of cumulative abuse. So let us try to know what are the pattern, psychological and behavioral symptoms. For psychological symptoms, the victim feels isolated, anxious, depressed, or helpless. Be emotionally withdrawn, deny that anything is wrong, or excuse the other person. In relation to behavioral symptoms, it includes refusing to leave the relationship, believing that the other person is powerful or knows everything. When things are calm, idealizing the person who carried out the abuse, believing that they deserve the abuse. The impact of an abusive relationship can continue long after leaving it. For some time, the person may experience sleep problems, including nightmares and insomnia, have sudden intrusive feelings about the abuse, avoid talking about the abuse, avoid situations that remind them of the abuse, experience feelings of anger, sadness, hopelessness, or worthlessness. Have intense feelings of fear. Have panic attacks or flashbacks to the abuse. A battered woman claiming self-defense under the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children must prove that the final acute battering episode was preceded by at least 2 battering episodes. Battered woman syndrome is characterized by the so-called cycle of violence. So there are three phases. The number 1 is tension building phase. The second would be the acute battering incident, and the third is the tranquil loving or non-violent phase. So let us try to understand a little bit of the tension building phase. It has a minor battering that occurs. It could be verbal or slight physical abuse or other form of hostile behaviors. For the second phase, the acute battery incident is characterized by brutality, destructiveness, and sometimes death. The battered woman seems this incident is as unpredictable yet also inevitable. During this phase, she has no control. Only the batterer can put an end to the violence. And the third phase, the tranquil, loving, or non-violent phase. The final phase of the cycle of violence begins when the acute battering incident ends. This tranquil period, the couple experience profound relief. So, let us try to have a case. This case is taken from the USJR Bar Review compilation. So the case is about Dion and Talia, or spouses. John always came home drunk since he lost his job a couple of months ago. Talia had gotten used to the verbal abuse from Dion. One night, in addition to the usual verbal abuse, John beat up Talia. The next morning, June saw the injury that he had inflicted on Talia and promised her that he would stop drinking and never beat her again. However, Dion did not make good on his promise. Just after 1 week, he started drinking again. Talia once more endured the usual verbal abuse. Afraid that he might beat her up again, Talia stabbed Dion with a kitchen knife while he was passed out from imbibing too much alcohol. Talia was charged with the crime of parricide. This is a 2015 bar question. So let us try to answer the first question. May Talia invoke the defense of battered woman syndrome to free herself from criminal liability? So let us try to explain in order for you to know how to apply this special law. The answer, no. A single act of battery or physical harm committed by Dion against Talia resulting to the physical and psychological or emotional distress on her part is not sufficient to avail of the benefit of the justifying circumstance of battered woman syndrome. The defense of battered woman syndrome can be invoked if the woman with marital relationship with the victim is subjected to cumulative abuse or battery involving the infliction of physical harm resulting to the physical and psychological or emotional distress. So, what is meant by cumulative? This cumulative means resulting from successive addition. So, successive, dili mo bitang ingon na at least 2 battering episodes. In some, that there must be at least 2 battering episodes between the accused and her intimate partner. And such final episode produced in the battered person's mind an actual fear of an imminent harm from her batterer and an honest belief that she needed to use force in order to save her life. Second question. Will your answer be the same assuming that Talia killed Dion after being beaten up after a second time? So remember beaten up after the second time. So the suggested answer is yes. Talia can invoke the defense of battered woman syndrome to free herself from criminal liability for killing her husband since she suffered physical and emotional stress arising from cumulative abuse or battery. Under Section 26 of RA 9262, victim survivors of battered woman syndrome do not incur or any criminal or civil liability despite the absence of the requisites of self-defense. So, I do hope that you now understand the RA 9262, which is also known as Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004. What are the rights of victims? In addition to the rights under existing laws, victims of violence against women and their children shall have the following rights: to be treated with respect and dignity, to avail of legal assistance from PAO, of the Department of Justice, DOJ, or any public legal assistance office, to be entitled to support services from the DSWT and LGUs, to be entitled to all legal remedies and support as provided for under the Family Code, and to be informed of the rights and the services available to them, including the right to apply for a protection order. Where to look for to ask for that?
And that's it for the discussion on RA 9262 or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004.
So thank you, Juris Dr. Rita Elva Chancila, for that very informative topic.
Yes, so I want to ask you, Miss Lucy, what have you learned sa ang topic today?
Well, actually, Miss Lai, it is my first time to hear the word battered woman syndrome, which is also a subcategory of post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, we experience trauma, especially when we are physically abused. So, how about you, Miss Lai?
Okay, so for me, Miss Lucy, na-learn yun ako that VAWC is dili lang din niya covered ang present, being a husband, boyfriend, or live-in partner, but even ang ex. Si ex.
Ang ex, walang takas.
Walang takas si ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, ex-live-in partner. Okay, or bisan pa, no? Ang babae lalaki wa pa sa label, okay, wala pa sila naabot sa boy-girl nga relationship, dating stage pa lang, covered na siya, or even former dating partner, covered ani na law for as long as the woman experienced the violence.
Well, I guess we've learned a lot in this vlog. Well, aside from our learnings, Miss Lai, it is very important to take note where to ask for help.
So, Katekno, our dear viewers, we encourage you to comment down your learnings or even your questions below.
Again, this is in compliance with the CHED Memorandum number 9 series of 2013, wherein we will tackle about this information but very important matters. We have VAWC, Drug Abuse Prevention and Control, Anti-Sexual Harassment Act.
And we also have HIV/AIDS awareness, self-care and healthy lifestyle, prevention and public ridicule, and notification against persons with disabilities.
So, Katekno, be excited with our next vlog.
Once again, we are your
Guidance Evening Squad! This is a place to be you, a place to be real, your safe place.